That's what we would have witnessed if we could have been in the presence of Jesus back then. Even more than that in those first 4 chapters. In fact, there's one other story I'd love to have one of his friends come and tell you. So I've invited one of the disciples here this morning. It's Peter.
Hi, Jeannie.
Oh, there he is. Okay, Peter,
Hi,
come on out and
kids.
tell something else Jesus did.
Well, I want to tell you the story about when Jesus calmed the sea. Jesus was teaching, and he invited all of the disciples when he was finished to go to the other side of the river, the lake, the sea, no, the ocean, no, it was the Sea of Galilee. I was there, I should know. And so we got into the boat, and we were all started to row. Can you help me row? Row, row. But all of a sudden the winds came, and the waves came crashing, and we were getting wet. And keep rowing, guys. Row, row. We were getting seasick, and we were afraid we were going to drown. But Jesus was so tired from his teaching, he fell asleep in the back of the boat. Well, I wasn't going to wake him up. You wake him up. Who wants to wake up Jesus? I know. We'll all wake up Jesus. So all the disciples, we said, Jesus, wake up. Don't you care about us? We're going to drown. Jesus got up and he said, he was pretty disappointed in us, but he did see, he talked to the waves and the wind. He said, quiet, be still. And instantly they were quiet. And the disciples, we were afraid. Who is this who calms this wind and the waves? Well, it was an amazing thing. Looking back, you would have thought that we would have had all this faith, just like Jeannie talked about. But when we were in the storms, we found out that we didn't have our faith, and our faith needed to be stretched. So in looking back on this experience, I think we learned 3 lessons. The first one is that the storms will come. In 2010, the storms will come. We live in a fallen world. There is sin. And because of that, bad things do happen to good people. The storms will come. God also allows these storms to stretch our faith. And so he allows storms to come into our life. The second thing that we learned is that he does care. Looking back, that was an unfair question don't you care? Don't you care for us? But he does care. We talk about God's good hand. And sometimes that hand feels like it's hard and heavy and it's pushing us along. But when you think of God's hand, look at the nail prints, and you know that these are good hands that are guiding you. And the third thing that we learned is that God is with us. In the storm, in the boat, I got to actually see Jesus. But when he left, when he died on the cross and went to heaven and was raised, and he sent his Spirit. And his Spirit is just as much with you today as he was with me back then. So in 2010, know that the storms will come. Jesus cares for you, and that God is with us. Now, my sundial says that it's time for me to go. I got a Wii for Christmas, and I want to play one of those fishing games. So goodbye, boys and girls.